Before we get started, make sure to turn on post notification and subscribe to the channel. 10 backstage rumors we hope aren't true. Number 10. NXT versus the main roster. On paper, this might sound like an amazing idea, having talent from NXT take on main roster stars in a major feud between the developmental brand and either Raw or SmackDown. But that isn't actually the case. The problem with having this take place is that it will instantly show NXT stars as not on the same level as the main roster, which isn't what WWE should be doing, and bringing multiple NXT stars onto the main roster at the same time is also a bad decision. Having all the NXT stars debuting at the same time might give them some brief buzz, but eventually that will fade, and just like when the Nexus stable debuted, the talent will fall down after the main roster inevitably wins the feud. Number 9. Randy Orton back in the title picture. Since Randy Orton returned to WWE as a menacing heel, the Viper has been back to his very best with an entertaining feud against Jeff Hardy. It is clear that Orton is relishing his new role, and the rumors have already started about him becoming the WWE champion. While Orton is doing brilliantly as a heel once again, there isn't any need to place him into the title scene anytime soon, with tons of fresh stars who fans would rather see, such as Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, and Andrade Cien Almas. The times of WWE needing to rely on the Viper are over. Orton doesn't appear at live events frequently, which is another negative to having him in the title picture, which is why it makes more sense to have him carry on doing what he has been since returning, making incredible non-title feuds to give fans something else to get interested in. Number 8. Rusev Alone as a babyface. Pairing Rusev and Aiden English together seemed like a random decision at the time, but it was clear both men had brilliant chemistry together, and they immediately connected with the WWE Universe, putting each other's careers back on track. However, as WWE tends to do with all tag teams, the company decided to split the two apart for no reason, leaving the futures of both men very much in doubt, considering the spots they were in prior to Rusev Day taking off. Rusev works best as a monster heel, mainly because it suits his in-ring style and the way he looks. With microphone skills not being his strongest point, a solo run as a babyface might see him become stuck once again in the mid-card. Number 7. Baron Corbin in the main event. Baron Corbin has had a very up and down time in WWE since moving to the main roster, with moments of brilliance that have made it seem like WWE management is high on him, as well as real lows that have made it appear that the company might release him without notice. Recently, he has been put into another position of prominence with his Constable Corbin gimmick, landing him the coveted Raw General Manager gimmick, something that seems to be leading him to the main event scene. A rumor we would rather see WWE avoid, if possible, as while it can be denied Corbin has real talent, especially at drawing heat, seeing him in the main event scene isn't something that anybody wants. Number 6. Kane Retires. The Big Red Machine has been a staple of WWE for years now, and the thought of WWE without Kane is quite a strange thing. Of course, he isn't always going to be around, and he hasn't been on a full-time schedule for some time now. However, that doesn't mean that people have had enough of seeing Kane. Sure, he isn't needed on a weekly basis anymore, but having some appearances from the future WWE Hall of Famer is always a good thing. However, with his career in politics only growing, taking up more time and effort from the Demon, he is unable to commit as much time to wrestling, which means that retirement could be around the corner, even if he don't want it to happen. Number 5. Bray Wyatt gets a new stable. With the short-lived tag team between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt now over, the Eater of Worlds has been absent from WWE television, with WWE clearly working out what they can do next with the talent that once had so much promise. There have been plenty of rumors as to what is next for Wyatt, and a brand new stable is something that has been talked about. This is an idea that WWE should try to avoid where possible, as it is simply repeating history. We have already seen Wyatt lead a faction, and we know exactly how far it can get him, with Wyatt being great at building up his faction only for them to never win. It's time to see a new side of Bray, and hopefully that's what we get going forwards. Number 4. The Bella Twins full-time run. While there's no doubt that the Bella Twins are WWE legends and very likely future Hall of Famers, they are both very popular with the WWE Universe, and they have played a key role in the women's revolution. But that doesn't mean that a full-time run for the sisters is needed once again. Right now, both Nikki and Brie are making lots of appearances, but this seems to be simply with evolution in mind and not a full-time WWE return, which is a good thing as that is the decision that the company should be trying to avoid. It has been clear from their performances that ring rust has set in, and Bray in particular has made some very dangerous mistakes in the ring. On top of that, with as much talent as the company has on both the main roster and in NXT, the Bellas simply aren't needed. Number 3. Brock Lesnar has more matches. Now we know that we have at least one more match to come from Brock Lesnar, with his Crown Jewel Universal Championship match already being announced, but the chances he leaves that show as the champion are incredibly slim as the Beast prepares to return to UFC. However, there are rumors that Lesnar will continue to work select matches at major events such as WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. While there might be an obvious positive to having a major name at those shows, there really is no need to have Brock Lesnar wrestling anymore. WWE has got as much out of Lesnar as the company can, and now it's time for WWE to place focus on the full-time talent that are under contract to try and make them major stars, rather than having matches stacked with the same move over and over again. Number 2. A Bayley heel turn. This is something that has been rumored on and off for quite some time now. Ever since her storyline with Sasha Banks started almost a year ago now, some people wanted to see the hug-loving wrestler snap and unleash a dark side, but that would be a mistake. It seems glaringly obvious that Bayley and the boss are going to fall out at some stage in the future, but with Banks being the obvious heel, sometimes it is okay to go down that road rather than twist things simply for the sake of shock value. Bayley is a natural babyface, and if booked correctly, has the potential to be the next John Cena of the female division. Just a look back to her NXT career is a clear sign as to why Bayley is the perfect babyface and does not need a heel turn. Number 1. Matt Hardy officially retires. It seems like this one might already be true, with Matt Hardy posting his cryptic video claiming that it was time to go home, alluding to the fact his time as an in-ring performer is coming to an end. But there still hasn't been an official announcement from WWE. While Matt could simply be riding off into the sunset, with the fact he has already been practicing work as a WWE producer being a clear sign that retirement might have happened, with Matt Hardy, you can never be too sure. Very few wrestlers have their finger on the pulse better than Hardy, and the possibility of bringing out a broken Hardy in a WWE match is still something fans want to see, though it is looking likely that we have seen Matt wrestle his last match, sadly not going out in the fashion his career deserves.